himself denying that it happened. Joined now by a Trump supporter, also chair of the American Conservative Union, Matt Schlapp. Matt, good to see you on a Friday.
Good to see you, Craig.
What do you make of this latest news, the White House expressing regret?
I think it's the right thing to do. This is an incredibly important relationship, maybe our most important relationship on the globe, and people have to be careful with the words they choose. So I think they did the right thing. I think on this whole question of what type of surveillance or eavesdropping was done on the Trump world, I think we all just want to know the answers.
Well, I think we've gotten the answers. We've gotten the answers from the Senate Intelligence Committee, the House Intelligence Committee, former head of National Intelligence. You don't buy any of those. You don't believe any of it. No,
I believe them. I think these are respectful people. Mr. Clapper, not so much so from my point of view. I think he's a little too political to have much credibility with people like me, but I do think the two committees in Congress are continuing to look at this. They say they have no evidence to date. I take them at their word, but I want to see what their final conclusions are, and I want to make sure that the New York Times and these other, very respectful news outlets, there's a January 19th column in the New York Times all about the surveillance from the Obama administration to Trump world. If all of that was wrong, I want all these people to take back all these stories they wrote about, all these Russia ties between Trump world and the Russian government and Vladimir Putin.
The White House, as you know, doubling down on those wiretap claims. I want you to take a listen to how the administration has talked about this over the past few days, and we'll talk about it on the other side, but here it is.
Does the president believe that former President Barack Obama committed a felony?
I think the president's tweets speak for themselves.
President Trump's Twitter statement shouldn't be taken at face value about what...
Sure it should. The president used the word wiretap in quotes to mean broadly surveillance and other activities. I'll let them do their job. I'll let the House and Senate, and I'll let the DOJ report this.
People we've talked to, I don't think there was an actual tap of Trump Tower.
The Senate Intelligence Committee says they see no indication that it happened. Does the president still stand by the
first of all, he stands by it.
Well, it seems bizarre, you would concede, Matt. I mean, the way that the language has played out over the past 2 weeks. First of all, I'm not sure why wiretapping was in air quotes.
Right, and look, wiretapping to somebody like me just seems like an antiquated term. We all know that what happens in modern-day espionage is there's all types of ways you can surveil somebody, and especially with the type of technology that we all deal with every day in our phones and in our homes. And so I believe, Craig, still that it's very plausible that the Obama administration surveilled Hillary Clinton's opponent's campaign. Now, if I'm wrong about that...
And you believe this, again, you believe this despite the fact we have heard evidence to the contrary so far from just about everyone else on Capitol Hill.
No, that's not right. If you look at what they have said, actually the Republicans have said that it's still plausible that it happened, but they have seen no evidence that it happened. And I do believe that the evidence should determine this.
That makes no sense. To say something is plausible and you've seen no evidence.
Craig, this might surprise you, but they're still investigating what happened.
So you're convinced there's still some sort of smoking gun out there?
No, well, let me ask you a question. Why hasn't the New York Times taken back all of its reporting on this topic?
I can't speak for the New York Times. I don't work for the New York Times.
How about your own stations reporting on the fact that there were so many ties between the Trump campaign and Russia that it's under investigation? Now, you have reported that on this network many times. Is that true or not true?
That there are investigations? To our knowledge, that is true.
So when you do an investigation, what do, Craig?
Matt, yesterday we heard from the head of the House and Senate Intelligence Committees who have said so far they've seen no evidence.
That's correct. That's correct. They also said...
But you're still holding out hope that there might be some evidence.
I'm not saying I hope anything. I'm just saying Devin Nunes, the Republican chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, also said it would be plausible and that they are continuing to look at the facts. I, for one, would like to see what these investigations determine, and I think that will help us all understand what happened. But one thing is true, which is many folks who I respect in the media have been reporting that these investigations have gone on, that conversations were intercepted by our government, and that was done by the Obama administration during a very heated campaign. If there are reasons to do that, I want to hear them. But they better be damn good, because we've never seen this in our politics ever, that one administration starts investigating
we've also
the
never
opponent.
We've never seen a president of the United States accuse a former president of tapping his phones and providing absolutely no evidence in the subsequent 2 weeks. We've never seen that either. And I would also point out, Matt...
let me try to answer there.
That wasn't a question. There's no need to answer. But I would also point out that if Mr. Spicer yesterday, in his news conference, accuses Britain's intelligence agency of being a part, and then all of a sudden, 12 hours later, says, well, I won't say that in public anymore. Why do that? Why?
You've got a very fair point there, and I think apologizing to our most important ally is the right thing to do. But as somebody who worked for President George W. Bush, let me tell you, Barack Obama threw George W. Bush under the bus every day on every issue for 8 years. So the idea that somehow President Trump is the only body who's gone after their predecessor is absurd.
There's never been another president that's accused his predecessor of a felony. That's what I said.
They basically called Bush and Cheney war criminals. Please.
Matt Schlapp, we'll leave it there. Always good to see you.